Nels Reese, 308 South Hayes, still the same place I was.
Hello, Nels.
3 weeks ago. Yeah. And the 1912 building. After this building right here, that's my favorite building. So I think if you think about it, I'm going to waste 30 seconds of my time, but I don't think Jenny would let happen to this building what happened to the Civic down in Lewiston. She knows where the leaks are, and so I think you've already spoken about her skill, but she's all over that building, and I'm sorry that the folks in Lewiston didn't pay attention to their leaks in that same way. Well, I'm here representing the Citizens for a Livable Community, and we're going to make Jeff Speck and his Walkable City a step or two more famous. But I'm going to hang in with where we were last meeting to continue that ever-present issue of cars and what we're going to do with them. Did we in our comp plan or in our Moscow multimodal plan, did we really consider the issue of induced demand? That's a question that I'm not going to try and answer, but it's certainly a question that we all need to think about. Will a new big bridge on 3rd Street solve all the problems, or will we just have a very, very busy street? But before we try and understand that induced demand, I just thought I'd take a minute to talk about the numbers on 3rd Street. And I want to be clear that I'm not just talking about 3rd Street. I'm talking about 6th and 3rd and D. There's little difference between the three of them are neighborhood collectors. So if we talk about those streets, could we just take a minute and look at the reported traffic figures for those three Central City neighborhood collectors? I'm going to take the liberty of calling them all collectors as opposed to arterials, okay? First, as reported in a City of Moscow traffic document in 2008 and again in 2011, and third, in figure 4-3 of the multimodal plan. You see the figures down there, and I would ask you, and I don't expect an answer tonight, but if you want to email me in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to have to miss the next meeting because I'm out of town. I'm taking a group to New York City, but if you look at that 6th Street, in 2008, it was reported 9,910 cars. In 2011, the same, 9,910. In the multimodal report, on the map at 4.3, it says 6,300. Why is that? How is it that 6 years later, we have less cars? 3rd Street, 8,368 in both 2008 and 2011. 5,000 cars in 2014? Are you kidding me? You guys probably know more about the multimodal plan than I do. They didn't ask a lot. They didn't ask my opinion a lot about it. But look at D Street, 6,644 cars in 2008, 6,261 in 2011, 6,200 in 2014. That should, at least, there should be a little question mark. It does give one pause to understand why figures from the city in 2008 and 2011 are somewhat different from the figures 3 years later, and not larger, as one might suspect in a growing city, but smaller in every case. I presume that each of you, again, probably know more about this one than me, but I'd like an answer on why the multimodal plan reported something quite different than the city had reported a few years before. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Nels. And just for the record, I gave you an extra 1 minute, so your 30 seconds wasn't wasting. You actually got an extra 30 seconds.
And the community center thanks you, too.
Thank you, Nels.